Day 3, and Elon Musk has officially wrapped up his testimony in his lawsuit against OpenAI. The question at stake, can you steal a charity? In yesterday's video, I promised to share some of the most damning discovery. So here it is. I'll cut to the chase, trying to keep this video as brief as possible. The lawsuit from Musk is focused on both Sam Altman and Greg Brockman of OpenAI. Check this out. If you want to see every little detail, just pause the video and read in full. In short, Greg Brockman at OpenAI has a meeting with Ilya, another leader at OpenAI. They discuss the idea of turning it into a for-profit entity as opposed to the non-profit, the founding principle upon which the company started. After this meeting, the meeting in which they conclude that they truly do want the B Corp, the for-profit, Brockman continues to write in a document that I presume he thought was relatively private but has now become part of discovery. And this came to light prior to Musk's lawsuit, by the way. So highlighted here, Brockman notes, and this is a direct quote, that he cannot say that we are committed to the non-profit. Don't want to say that we're committed. If 3 months later we're doing a B Corp, a for-profit, then it was a lie. Brockman conceded that he was, quote, not feeling so great about all of this. The true answer is that we want Musk out. Again, another direct quote. Can't see us turning this into a for-profit without a very nasty fight. I'm just thinking about The Office, and we're in The Office. And his story will correctly be that we weren't honest with him in the end about still wanting to do the for-profit just without him. After these thoughts were written down by Brockman, we have an email from Greg Brockman to Elon Musk. Subject, thank you. Hi, Elon. We've been working together for 2 years now, and in every meeting with you, I continue to learn, grow, and see the world in a new way. I particularly admire your clarity of purpose, the simple and consistent heuristics you use to evaluate decisions, and that you stick to what's right rather than what's easy. This is incredible to read. When we've just seen those private thoughts from Greg that are now public, and this email sent to Musk after this, sticking to what's right rather than easy, clarity of purpose, consistency, it continues. I am grateful and humbled that you see potential in Ilya and me and are willing to give us a chance. 2017 was a hard year and we've made mistakes, but I believe the lessons we've learned will ultimately make us successful in our mission. It's an honor to work alongside you. Let's make sure that the post-AGI world is one that is good for humans, ... especially those who end up making billions of dollars when OpenAI flips into a for-profit. This is pretty damning stuff. I'm actually going to watch some coverage in the mainstream media after Musk wrapped up his testimony. This is the CBS network, formerly accurately describing themselves. Tune into CBS. However, under new ownership, a few shocking changes have happened at CBS. Once one of the leading propagandist fake news outlets is now somewhat reasonable. A segment I featured on this channel a couple of months ago was one of the anchors admitting that they'd essentially been lying to their audience and that they'll do better. And since then, they in fact have actually been doing better. I haven't watched this clip yet. So let's see what the once formerly fake news, now potentially relatively neutral media is saying about this lawsuit. After all, I'm extremely biased. Just ask my haters. Elon D. Ryder, Tesla fanboy, totally deluded, can't see reality. Sam Altman is a great guy, totally trustworthy and reliable. OpenAI, totally fine, and there's nothing wrong with stealing a charity. But let's see what the media has to say.
Welcome back to The Takeout. Elon Musk's testimony concluded today in his lawsuit against OpenAI. Musk is accusing CEO Sam Altman and his company, that's OpenAI, of making him believe early that his investments were helping to launch a nonprofit that would benefit humanity. OpenAI became a for-profit company in 2025. Lawyers for OpenAI have rejected these allegations. CEO of The Atlantic and host of the Most Interesting Thing in AI podcast, Nicholas Thompson, joins me now. Nick, it's great to see you.
Oh, it's great.
Ah, shit. I just hear CEO of The Atlantic, one of the more left-leaning, and I mean that quite literally, one of the most left-leaning media outlets on the planet. This may not be the great start I was hoping for. Let's find out.
Great to see you.
Help my audience understand what's at stake in this trial. I know it's contract law, I know it's personalities, but maybe it's the future of artificial intelligence?
I mean, what's at stake is really the future of OpenAI.
Okay.
If Musk wins the case, and he wins on all of his claims, it would be incredibly damaging for OpenAI, which would be very good for Musk's competitor, xAI.
Fuck me, dude. There it is, straight out of the gates. This is being framed now by The Atlantic's CEO, apparently, as a lawsuit that would meaningfully benefit Elon Musk from a competitive advantage point of view by dramatically impacting in a negative manner their key competitor, OpenAI. This is not the way to be framing this lawsuit. As I said earlier, it's a simple question. Is it okay to steal a charity? Is it okay to solicit donations from somebody like Musk? tens of millions of dollars, while privately acknowledging after meeting internally that you want to flip the company into a for-profit, and continuing privately to describe the fact that should you not make this clear to Musk, you will be deceiving him, lying to him. Should you then flip it to a for-profit a few months after saying, totally on board with the not-for-profit still, Elon, that you would have deceived him, would have lied to him, and that you're not feeling good about it, you then email him the following year, pretending everything's fine, that you're not trying to flip it into a for-profit. You even go as far, the audacity, to suggest that you admire his conviction, his principles, doing what's right, not easy, blah, 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 blah. Altman, Brockman, and others at OpenAI are on paper worth squillions of dollars now, having essentially built a company, not a not-for-profit, and was supposed to be a not-for-profit, but built a company, a for-profit company, and the whole thing in the early days was funded almost entirely by Elon Musk. That's what's at stake here. Can you, in the United States, start a not-for-profit, seek donations, cash from people who are giving it to you on the basis that you're a charity and not-for-profit and so on, and then flip to a for-profit and personally enrich yourselves to the tune of many billions of dollars? That's what's at stake here. This is why I never watch clips before I actually react to them. Because I said at the beginning, right, CBS have flipped around, they're fairly reasonable, unbiased. Then I hear the guest introduced as the fucking CEO of the Atlantic. I'm like, oh, fuck me, dude. Left-hearted as they get. Next minute, the very first thing he's talking about isn't what's actually at stake, the premise of the lawsuit, but trying to frame this as if Musk is trying to harm a competitor. Ridiculous. Another analogy, by way of example. Let's imagine that I start begging my audience in my videos, yes, I'm talking to you right now, please donate. I need to undergo a very important medical procedure. I've been putting it off for years. I can't afford the procedure myself. Use a link in the description to donate for my much needed penis reduction surgery. You don't understand how difficult it is living with this curse. I assure you, every single cent you donate will go toward the cost of the surgery and the recovery to cut off about 6 or 7 inches from this currently unusable third leg. I solicit many tens of thousands of dollars in donations for this much needed surgery, and then I go spend it all on Tesla stock and ride off into the sunset. That's not okay. I deceived you, I lied to you, I took your money, and then used it to personally enrich myself. It's extremely bizarre. Actually, it's not really, because like I said, CEO of one of the most left-hearted outlets on the planet, but it's such a weird take out of the gates to not acknowledge what this case is actually about and make it seem to the audience as if Musk is doing this just to harm a competitor. Not because he was swindled into funding an entity that flipped into a for-profit and massively enriched the very people who were scheming behind the scenes about pulling this off and knowing that doing so would be dishonest and deceptive to Musk. I don't know if I'm going to get through this clip. Let's just see if the anchor pushes back whatsoever on this deranged take or not.
And if there were to be one fewer competitor in this space, what practical effect would that have on the future evolution of artificial intelligence?
Maybe it will go a little bit more slowly, but I don't think it makes a huge difference. If OpenAI were the only AI company, there would be a lot more at stake. But there's Google, there's Anthropic, there are all these open source competitors, there's Chinese models. So what's really at stake is OpenAI.
Speaking of the Chinese, Bernie Sanders did something very interesting last.
Well, that appears to be all the coverage on this lawsuit. Apparently, according to Bro over here, what's at stake isn't can you steal a charity? Can you take money from people while you're a non-profit and then transform into a for-profit and personally enrich yourself and many others to the tune of billions of dollars while privately scheming about deceiving the very person who's funding your not-for-profit? That's not at stake. What's at stake is whether or not one of XAI's competitors can survive. Oh, man. After all that, I talked up CBS and then they have this retard on here, just self-immolates. Should have known better. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.